A winding road stretched into the distance, gradually dissolving into space grain by grain, like sand slipping through fingers. I had already crossed the gates of paradise once, but this time, everything was different. Shefa was not here to greet me in his illusory world. The god of light was gone. There was only emptiness now, and that was all that remained of him. I used to be a human. After I died, I went to heaven and was chosen to enter the Angels and Demons Academy. I became an archangel. I did not get to enjoy the pleasures of immortality for long. One war ended only for a far more fearsome one to begin. This time, it was against the Mother of Life, the creator of all things. Her body was destroyed, and her mind was put to sleep, but we were never meant to know peace. Shefamalam, the creator of darkness and humankind, broke free after centuries of imprisonment. And now I am in paradise, trying to save a firstborn angel from the clutches of darkness. The road beneath my feet changed with every step. Sometimes it was rough and dry, like elusive sand, and other times it was soft and light, as though I were walking on clouds. Suddenly, my foot sank into nothingness. I froze in place. Beneath me, a black hole yawned open, revealing an endless, silent cosmos. A void as bottomless as everything around me. The wings on my back trembled, ready to unfold, but the path sealed itself. Without Shefa, paradise has become a strange place. Around me, everything in this twisted, broken space was shifting and changing. Things appeared from nowhere, then vanished again, as if I had walked so far the light could not reach us. Here, everything existed beyond time. It seemed like I was becoming a part of this strange reality myself. Finally, I saw Tarnail. He was sitting on a rock, elbows resting wearily on his knees. His shoulders slumped, his bare feet touched the snow-white floor, and his open hands were trembling. The moment I stepped into his domain, Tarnail raised his head and looked at me, piercing me with his pale blue eyes. "I've come for you," I said. "You're not the only one," Tarnail replied. From behind him came a gentle, tranquil voice. "Not many are allowed to enter paradise," Raphael said. "And here we were thinking Shefamalam's minions couldn't get in here. Damn, this complicates everything." I took a step back, but forced myself to stop. Raphael stood between me and Tarnail. His eyes, clouded with a thin white film, seemed to be staring straight at me. We were dozens of feet apart, but for immortals, closing the gap and severing a head took less than a second. Aragon told me about him. Raphael was supposed to give his life to kill the son of the firstborn demon Baal, to stop him from freeing his father and destroying the human world. He is a strong, experienced opponent. He has to be at least several thousand years old. Mercy is a humane path, where the main character strives to remain true to herself, resisting rage and the thirst for revenge. On the cruelty path, she allows negative emotions to take over, becoming ruthless and obsessively determined. Even though Raphael is blind, I shouldn't test him. Otherwise, I might see what he's really capable of. "Why didn't you die?" Raphael didn't respond to my rudeness. He only tilted his head a little, as a pained smile touched his lips. "If Shefa were alive, do you think he'd be disappointed in me? If he knew you'd become Shefamalam's chained dog, he'd kill you with his own hands." "You're right." I glanced at Tarnail. He sat there, exhausted. His translucent, indifferent eyes rested on us, completely devoid of will, devoid of want. He didn't seem to care who would take him away from here. He was ready to leave with whoever proved to be stronger. "I'll have to take you first." I spread my wings threateningly. The feathers rustled, and the air around me shivered from the surge of power. I don't know why Shefamalam needs Tarnail, but he's not getting him. He's not getting any of the firstborn. They are strong and will help us fight against him. Shefamalam always gets what he wants. His voice carried an indescribable sorrow. I can't be fooled by his sad face. He could have joined the resistance, but chose to bow before the darkness instead. I won't give up so easily. I didn't have the usual powers of the immortals. I couldn't control the elements, bend others to my will, or see the future. All I could do was reflect and suppress the power of another. Which means, I need to wait for Raphael to attack first. He started to approach. The distance between us kept shrinking, yet Raphael's wings remained folded and relaxed, his arms hanging loosely at his sides. His steps were light and measured. His power, hidden beneath skin and flesh, boiling in his bones and chest, seeped out in a dense, trailing aura. Vast as the abyss, thick as blood, Raphael reached me. I raised my arms, ready to block the strike. But he didn't slow down, passing by without so much as a turn of the head. I don't want to fight. This is up to Tarnail. He stepped onto the path and the space swallowed him, hiding him behind an unstable veil. What is he doing? He just left. For the first time, Tarnail moved. He straightened his back, ready to talk. Come closer. I obeyed. You felt my awakening, and it seems we weren't the only ones. Shefa created me to maintain balance if something happened to him. Our world cannot exist without light, or without darkness. As long as I'm silent, the world stays in balance. My silence is the seal that holds it together. Until I raise my head, until I tremble, everything goes on as it should. To prove the opposite, he raised his hand. His fingers danced on invisible keys, composing a requiem for the strength he used to have. Any action I take creates a distortion. What's changed? I'm dying. Without balance, our world will come to an end. Fear gripped me, but I didn't show it and replied coldly. Which is why you have to come with me. Tarnail leaned in, studying my face with a strange, piercing expression. Broken. I've been called that before. Our abilities are similar, only a bit. I can't create energy, I destroy it. You distribute it, transform it. It shouldn't be this way, not in a normal world. But it's no longer normal. It's also broken. And you're a necessary mechanism. It shouldn't be this way. Not in a normal world. But it's no longer normal, it's also broken. And you're a necessary mechanism. Suddenly, Tarnail covered his mouth with his hand, his body trembling in a coughing fit. He's barely holding on. It seems like he could collapse at any second. Raphael will take you to the one who did this to you. He's on Shefamalam's side. The god of darkness had nothing to do with this. What? Something happened. He doubled over again, his coughing tearing him apart. Sins stopped dissipating and took on form. The balance is broken. The scales, they no longer waver. One grows empty, while the other overflows. How can we fix this? Tarnail lifted his tired, faded gaze to me. You must kill the keeper of sins. He slowly got to his feet. Now it was his turn to look down at me. He was several heads taller than I was, and almost naked. His body, though broken by time, still carried the majesty of a firstborn. Even now, at death's door, the power didn't just flow through him. It rattled, crashing in invisible blows against the shield I'd raised around myself. Tarnail leaned in. His cold breath brushed against my ear. Now, listen. My heart pounded as if it went mad. The weight of my wings throbbed with piercing pain. I wanted to tear them out to forget my immortality. I need a stone of secrets. I have to bury these thoughts so deep inside me that even I won't be able to find them. I stopped, covering my face with my hands, and gnashed my teeth. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Seems like Tarnail doesn't want to come with you. I threw my hands away from my face. Don't let him see anything. Raphael can't find out. That doesn't mean he's coming with you. He may be dying, but he's still a firstborn. You won't be able to defeat him. Raphael only smiled. Something about me caught his attention, and he closed his eyes, focusing on it. You are afraid. Tarnail's words beat within me instead of my heart, surged through my veins instead of blood, and clawed at my throat in a wave of nausea. I had to take our secret to non-existence. Only one of us will leave this place. You understand that, don't you? Raphael's shoulders twitched. He stood half-turned, hunched slightly under the weight of realization. But his voice sounded firm, if not without regret. I do. We lunged at each other at the same time, but Raphael was faster. He'd been around for millennia, and I had just a few decades behind me. I was bound by the promise I made to Tarnail. An oath that I couldn't breathe a word about, not even in my dreams. Raphael grabbed me by the throat and lifted me up to his eye level. I'm sorry. How sweet. You're apologizing. Have you ever killed? Many times. You. The haze of darkness that clouded his eyes made it seem as if Raphael was looking inward, deep into himself. As if he wasn't speaking to me, but to the scars that cut across his soul. I can't even feel your power. Why did they send you? Who are you? Ask your master. You're too weak. I don't want to kill you. His grip tightened, and my throat clicked sharply, as though something had snapped within. Weak, you say? You can't kill a weakling. I tried to laugh, but all that came out was a strangled wheeze. Then you won't last long next to that monster. I grabbed Raphael's face, sparing neither him nor myself. In a sharp, precise motion, my fingers gouged out his eyes. The angel's scream shattered the silence. For a moment, his grip weakened, and I seized the opportunity to break free and soar upward. He'll recover, but I bought myself some time. Raphael didn't say anything for a second, covering the wound with his hands. Then he lowered them, raised his head to the black sky, and sighed as if savoring the pain. Thank you. That'll make this a little easier. Slowly, Raphael took to the air. Without a sound, without effort, he hovered before me like imminent punishment. It doesn't matter which side we're on. We all suffer in our own ways. Perhaps your suffering ends here. Before I could react, he flicked his wrist casually, like swatting a fly, and an invisible wave of force slammed into my chest. I was thrown back beyond the gates of paradise. The blow came to my side, and I crashed onto the ground. Rolling over, I tried to catch my breath. A moment later, everything went quiet. I couldn't move. My ears were ringing, and my pulse thundered in my head. He's so strong. Raphael hovered nearby. He didn't approach. He just circled, listening intently. It was as if he could feel my presence, but couldn't determine where I was. He was using sound and aura to navigate, but my aura couldn't be sensed. If I didn't make any noise, he wouldn't find me. I froze and curled up, holding my breath. Raphael didn't move for a while. Then, suddenly, he smiled and slowly descended back to the ground. So you figured it out after all. Because of you, for the first time since I lost my sight, I truly felt what it means to be blind. He wiped the blood from his cheeks. His eyes were nearly fully recovered. He regenerates quickly, so I remained completely still. Thanks to you, there will be a little less blood on my hands. Raphael didn't try to find me. I failed to convince Tarnail to come with me, but Raphael still had a chance. When the angel disappeared behind the veil, I got to my feet and dusted myself off. You won't succeed. Tarnail won't come with you. It should be here. Straightening my wings, I shifted my position midair. I pushed against the icy wind currents to stay aloft and squinted. It was nearly impossible to see anything in the dark clouds, even for me, an immortal. But soon the clouds dispersed, gradually revealing a titanic island slowly slicing through the sky. It hummed and vibrated, as if alive. Chunks of earth trembled, broke off, and slid down into the abyss below. The wandering island was a legend no one believed in, until it was finally found. When the horsemen of the apocalypse, the children of the Mother of Life, who sought to destroy our world, descended upon Earth, we, the last of the winged beings, founded the Order of Resistance. After we won and Shephamalam broke free, the Order was not disbanded. On the contrary, it became the final stronghold for those who refused to bow before the darkness. That was when our leader, Aragon, discovered this place. Or rather, the island discovered us. It had been hiding for centuries, wandering among the heavenly currents, cloaked in mists and thunderstorms. It couldn't be seen, and it couldn't be found. Until one day, it revealed itself, as though it had chosen those it needed. Since then, we have been the only ones the island recognized. And so, no follower of Shepamalam could ever set foot on its soil. I pressed my wings to my back, turned over in midair, and began to descend. The wind whistled in my ears, and my eyes watered from the freezing cold. Through the clouds, the silhouette of a city emerged, looking as if it were carved entirely from ash and stone. A cacophony of sound exploded in my ears. Frantic shouts, barked commands, the low rumbling, roaring, and the violent crash of impacts. Against all odds, the city was alive. I landed at the western gate, took a few quick steps forward to keep my balance, and looked around. Despite all the apparent activity, everything felt dull and gray. The world had changed. After Shepamalam's return, many immortals were left with only two choices: submit, or end up in a mass grave. The god of darkness showed no mercy. He had waited through eternity in his prison, biding his time for revenge. But there was also hope. We knew he was still weak. His plan to absorb the remnants of the Mother of Life's power had failed. He emerged from his prison drained, scorched, and barely alive. Now he was in hiding. But we were searching, and we had to find him before he grew any stronger. A heavy cart rolled past, loaded with wooden crates. Inside, glass bottles clinked against one another. One crate slipped and fell out, but I caught it midair and shoved it back into place, managing to grab a bottle for myself. Uncorking it, I took a sip of the bright blue liquid. The glyph burned straight down my throat. Glyph is the alcoholic drink of the immortals. If Shepamalam finds us sooner, none of us will live to see the dawn. I needed to report to Aragon and tell him what had happened, but Tarnail's words were still gnawing at my thoughts. He'll be able to tell I'm hiding something. He'll demand access to my mind. I need to calm down. I spread my wings and soared high into the air. The city's towers stretched upward like the jagged claws of a beast, sharp, broken, and laced with cracks. Flying between them, I kept greedily gulping down the glyph. The infernal brew hit me hard and fast. I stumbled slightly in midair and bumped my wing against a tower. A chipped metal spire, jagged like a fang, grazed my feathers. There was a sudden jolt to the side. A brief fall. A terrifying moment without support. My body spun, but I spread my wings wide to steady myself. My fingertips caught the wet wind, my chest leaning forward. With a soft thud, I landed on a sloped rooftop. The tiles trembled underfoot, sending shards scattering in all directions. I stood on the very edge. The island sprawled before me like a monstrous dream. The stone arteries of its streets, the raw scars of ruined buildings, and the pulse of life beating somewhere deep within. Several wing rangers flew past over the towers. In the distance, the flags of the order flapped rhythmically in the wind. I rolled my shoulders in frustration, let my legs dangle over the roof's edge, and took a few more swigs. Behind me, I heard a voice. It was Lucifer. This rooftop had become our place of escape. He sat down beside me, letting his legs dangle over the edge. His knuckles hadn't healed yet. Blood oozed through the torn skin and dripped from his fingernails onto the coarse fabric of his pants. I took his hand and brought it to my lips, kissing it gently. "You look tired," I said softly. I didn't ask what happened. I didn't need to. Lucifer was Satan. In this world where order had crumbled into dust, it was he who held the chaos at bay. He beat the truth out of the minions of evil, breaking those whose will no one else could bend. But it was destroying him from the inside, slowly and quietly. Lucifer didn't answer. He simply ran his thumb over my lips, wiping away his own blood. "How did everything go?" he asked. "As you can see, I returned without Tarnail. Do you want me to come with you?" I shook my head and allowed myself a few minutes of weakness, a few minutes of being neither soldier nor messenger, not even an immortal, but just a woman. An exhausted woman. Resting my head on his shoulder, I could feel the rhythm of his heavy, restless blood under his skin. "I can handle it." Lucifer let out a low, almost soundless chuckle. "I know." The order members were rushing down the corridor, caught up in something akin to panic, as always. A new command must have been issued. Somewhere on the fringes of heaven or hell, our allies had probably fallen under the bloody assault of Shepamalam's followers. I walked down the middle of the corridor. Like a school of fish, the soldiers parted around me, breaking formation, wings beating and footsteps rumbling. A few angels who brushed past me in a hurry muttered brief apologies before disappearing into the crowd. This chaos, this fuss, the fear in their eyes, it had long stopped affecting me. I pushed open the heavy, carved doors and stepped inside. The sound of voices, all arguing at once, blended into an indistinct murmur. I winced and collapsed into a chair, nervously and absent-mindedly scratching my palms against the worn suede of the armrests. Aragon was sitting at the table, bent over dozens of maps. The seraph's cane was leaning against the edge of the table, its metal gleaming dully in the light. Aragon had lost a leg in the battle with the Mother of Life, but that loss left less of a void in him than the fall of the citadel. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a sharp blade soaked with Yog-Sothoth's poison hidden in his cane. Mom was standing nearby, holding the edge of the map. When I entered, she graced me with a brief glance. Mammon slammed his fist on the table, making the wood creak under the force of it. It's been 4 years, Aragon. 4. To end up here in safety after the portals scattered us, each of us had to fight through fire and water. But we survived. We were here. I'm not one to sit back. Mammon growled. Fencio, sitting in the chair opposite, twisted his lips into a smirk, or perhaps a sneer of disgust. Rebecca turned to Mammon coldly. So what are you suggesting? Have you seen yourself in the mirror? Have you seen yourself in the mirror? Rebecca asked, her voice cold. No mangy mutts can defeat the demon Mammon, not even if he loses both arms. Mammon barked back. Fencio sneered across the table. We are outnumbered. Shepamalam thinks we're afraid. Mammon shouted, slamming his fist down. He thinks we don't want war, that we're just holding up here. Damn him, he thinks we're cowards. Do you really care so much about what the god of darkness thinks of you? Fencio replied mockingly. What is this? Family affection. Diablo tu en figito, Mammon growled. Aragon, let me rip out his tongue. If we engage in open battle, we will lose, Fencio said firmly. And you know it. If we keep waiting, Mammon countered, he'll only grow stronger and kill everyone who stands against him. By then, it'll be too late to talk. He won't give us a second chance. I stepped forward. We need to act, but carefully. Aragon stayed silent, scribbling something in the corner of his map as if he wasn't even listening. Then, he looked up at me. I shrank back, pressing myself into the chair and hoping he would forget I was there. He stood, leaning on his cane. You came back without Tarnail, Aragon stated. I had to straighten up. Correct. Mammon glanced at me, his gaze unfocused at first. But as realization hit him, his eyes went bloodshot. That stubborn fool refused to come with you. I ran into Raphael, I explained. Putting down his quill, Aragon snapped, leave us. I wiped my sweaty palms on the armrests. Mammon cursed in demonic language as he stormed out. Mom squeezed my shoulder on her way out, while Fencio didn't even deign to look at me. When the heavy doors shut behind them, Aragon ordered, speak. Raphael was already there when I arrived, I said. I suspected as much, Aragon mused. He grew up under Shefa's wing and lived in paradise. He must have felt it. That's probably why he was able to cross the gates. Aragon closed his weary eyes. Did he manage to take the firstborn with him? I don't know, I replied. What did Tarnail say? He's dying, I told him. The sins stopped dissipating, and the balance was disrupted. Did he say what that would lead to? Aragon asked. Shepamalam and the demons will grow stronger. The scales are tipping toward darkness. Angels will become weaker, and for half-breeds, their darker side will begin to take over. How can we fix this? Aragon demanded. We must find and kill the Keeper of Sins, I answered. Aragon's fingers tapped nervously against the table. Something was deeply bothering him. What else did he tell you? His gaze bored into me, and Tarnail's words echoed in my mind. Now, listen. Tarnail's voice resonated in the white void. In an era where there is no longer balance, we need a measure bearer. And I will make you one. I'll pass part of my power to you. I'm tainted by darkness and can no longer maintain equilibrium. I had tried to step back, but the firstborn grabbed my hand. A sharp, Searing pain tore through my wrist and seeped into my veins. What are you doing? I cried. From now on, every action you take will be a weight on the scales, Tarnail warned. Good will summon evil. Evil will make way for good. Until you kill the keeper of sins and free me from this affliction, you will aid me. I wanted to pull away, but the pain paralyzed my will. My body no longer obeyed me. It felt as though it already belonged to him. Tarnail leaned in, his eyes ice cold and devoid of doubt or pity. You will. And you'll tell no one. Vicky. Aragon's voice snapped me back to reality. What? I asked, startled. The memory I had tried so hard to push away came flooding back. What else did Tarnail tell you? Aragon repeated, watching me intently. My heart pounded like a drum against my ribs, but the lie slipped out smoothly. Nothing.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and like. See you in the next episode. Bye.